Hello and welcome to the shed. In today's video I'm going to be reviewing this M Pro dust mask from Basecamp. Hope you enjoy. So, full disclosure, Basecamp did send this mask out to me. I didn't have to buy it and they wanted me to do a completely open and transparent review, so I decided that I'd partner with them and review their mask. Just a little disclaimer here, any of the testing and reporting back I've done here, I understand that PP is a very personal thing, and so just because I like something doesn't necessarily mean you will, but I've done this to the best of my abilities within the parameters of a hand tool workshop, so I haven't tested this in that very finest of dust that you might get with power tools quite regularly, so just take that with what it is. I've done it just purely on how I would use it in my hand tool shop. So let's jump in and get to it. So what is the Basecamp dust mask? Well, Basecamp is a US company that has their masks made in China. And what you can see here is these masks are a neoprene sort of outer that can be washed with a replaceable inner mask in here. The white filter contained in these is a 6-layer EAPI technology filter with an active carbon layer in it. And it is stated that it blocks 99.6% of all non-oil particles, including things like fumes, exhaust gas, and some of those sort of things. So what this filter doesn't do is block any of those oil particles, and you'd require a respirator for that kind of work. So how long do these filters last? Well, about 20 to 30 hours under heavy dust conditions. Under light conditions you gain about an extra 10 hours there, so that's about 30 to 40, and you can use these to block pollen and just like exhaust gases and things like that, so in that situation it's about 50 to 60 hours. So you actually get a good long life out of the filters in these. So at the time of filming, one of these kits that you get here, and I'll show you what's in the kit in a minute, is $24.90 USD, which is $37.60 Australian. Postage in the US, when I looked it up, was about $5.90 in the US, $7.90 US for Australia, so that's about $12. So all up for Australia, it'd be about $49.60 and around the $30 mark, or $32 in the US. And just bear in mind, their website says that over $49.90 you get free shipping, so that might be something to factor in. And Basecamp has given me a code for you to get 10% off, so I will leave that in the description below, so find that and use that code at checkout. So for the money, you have this packet here. It's got a lot of helpful information on the back here about the filter and the best working conditions and what it blocks and what you can use it on, and how long to expect a filter to last, and also how to replace the filter, which we will tackle after this. So inside here we get a mask, we get a little instruction booklet here that gives you a little bit more on how to fit it and whatnot, and care instructions and so you know what to look after with. And in here you also get your 6 filters, which I've just put in a snap lock bag to ensure that while I'm not using them, the air doesn't get to them. So while I've got you here, I thought I'd run you through how to actually replace this inner filter here. So what we actually have to do, and it does explain it in the booklet and on the back of the case, we actually have to remove these little valve housings here, so the outer cover and also the inner part which makes up the valve. So on the back here it actually shows you there's actually an open and close listed just on the back here, and so what we want to do to open it is obviously grab it, you hold the outside and the inside and twist it to my left, your right, and that pops it out, and we can see we've got the outer housing and the little diaphragm here, so you don't want to lose that and you don't want to damage that little diaphragm. Likewise, we want to do the same on the other side, so we pull that out, and that allows the filter to release. And so to put this back in is obviously the reverse of what we just did. So bring it back in, and this piece here that comes up to the ridge, you want to make sure that pushes in and matches to this sort of ridge part here, so it sits right up to the edge, and then it's a matter of aligning these here. Now you want to face carefully from the inside, the side that's got your diaphragm, into one side, and you want these outer pieces here to face down, and so you want to hold that in the and then just twist the inner part around until it hits the locator things, and then you want to turn it to the right, or to the direction where it says close, which is actually my right. And you just want these to face downwards as best you can. Then we want to do the same on the other side, carefully to not damage that little diaphragm. Oop. It's not quite lining up. So, and then the second one is always harder to get in here because it's already fixed on one side, so the lining up is a little tricky. And as you see, I just knocked that diaphragm off. You want to be careful not to do that. And now, got to feed this one in nice and gently. Once again, face this piece down, rotate it around, lock it into place, and I got that one first go. And that's how you take these off and on. You'll do that exact same process to take that filter and also these valves out when you wash it. The only option is to remove them, but it does make it a little more fiddly, but it is for an obvious good reason, and that is being able to wash the whole mask, which is never a bad thing. So now it's time to talk about how we actually fit these masks. Now, with these masks, you have a lower Velcro strap here that goes around the back of your neck, and you have this adjustable elasticized strap here. It is elastic with these two little plastic cams here, and what you do is you slide them along to actually adjust it. Now, the first time I put this on, I just put it on as it was, stretched it out, and then you can actually adjust these cams when it's on. So those of you with glasses, you will need to take them off to get the mask on. And fit it in here, make sure it's all sitting in, and what you want to do is ensure that this piece here, when it comes up, it fits up over your nose and around your mouth, so it's actually sealing around on the chin. And just bear in mind, with these, for the mask to fit properly, facial hair, you don't really want it there, but this mask is a little more forgiving with a bit of facial hair than a respirator, just because of its sort of neoprene fabric. It kind of just fits in, and the mask kind of sits here and seals even if you do have a bit of facial hair. Put that over, squeeze this nose piece. You want that to sit nice and comfortable on the ridge of your nose, and it kind of sits up here on this height here, and then you bring that around, and if you look up here, you can actually just pull these cams and adjust it quite easily just here until you get that fitting the way you like it to fit. And as you can hear, I can actually still breathe fairly easily through this, and I hope you can hear that. I don't feel that it's actually stopping my voice at all, and so it's actually quite a comfortable fit when it comes in like this. And you just want to make sure that this top strap sits up in a nice comfortable spot, sort of right on the top peak of your head. The idea is that's to stop this mask dropping down, and the back part just is for comfort, to try and stop it sliding. Most of it is held on this top strap, in my opinion. As you can see, it's actually fairly easy to fit. I've been testing this for at least a couple of weeks now, so although it's only a short-term test, I've found that it is quite comfortable to actually use under those conditions, and it's done an adequate job. I mean, I'm not smelling anything that I'm breathing in. I'm not noticing any dust in my nose or things like that where dust might build up, and so it's done an adequate job under the testing that I've done with it so far. What I did is I tested flattening the hand plane and brushing all the metal parts off, because I like to do that to keep the sandpaper free. So I'm brushing it all off with a brush, and those fine bits of metal, you don't want to breathe them in. So if you're doing any rust removal with sandpaper or anything like that, mask like this is valuable. Obviously, if you're doing any hand sanding, if you're doing it for only a short time, I wouldn't worry too much if I've just done a tiny bit. But if I'm doing an entire work project or something like that and doing some hand sanding over the whole thing, maybe before finishing, this is invaluable. And also just cleaning up around on your floor, sweeping everything up. I find that it gets quite dusty and find bits of dust and stuff like that. So that is another application where I'd use a mask like this. And so you can see there's actually quite a number of times where if I didn't have a mask like this, I'd be using the paper masks, and I don't think I even have one of those paper masks left around here because the little thin elastic straps on the back just snap, and while they do a pretty good job, something like this is going to be easier to grab. You're not going to lose it. The straps can't fail because they're massive straps. And the amount that I use a mask in my hand tool shop, just one mask, one of these filters from this mask, would last me a very, very, very long time because I don't do a lot of sanding or applications where I would actually require a mask, and when I do, it's nice to know that you have something that's robust like this that you can clean and you're not going to lose, and because it's quick and easy to put on, you're more likely to use it. So now what I thought I'd do is I'll tackle some pros and cons that I came across while I was testing this, so you guys know what I liked about it and what I didn't. So first off, I'll start with the pros. It's a very lightweight mask. That is great when it's on your face. I've used really heavy respirators in the past and they're just not comfortable because of how heavy they are. The fact that it is washable is great. I know in the past with just the paper ones, I've thrown them out when they've got all manky and dirty. At least the outer of these masks protects it, and so if that gets dirty, you can just wash it and no need to throw out your actual filter paper, which you don't have the option with the standard paper masks. The large straps that are easy to adjust is great. So when it's on your face, the straps are so easy to adjust to get the right tension. I just found that a breeze to do. It's one of the easiest adjustable straps that I've seen, and they just work really well for that. Particularly this top strap where you can just grab the cams and slide them when it's on your head to get the tension just right. And another pro for those of you that wear glasses, this does not fog my glasses up at all. I get some fogging up when I use the paper masks. They blow straight up, but because of these return valves and just how easy it is for the air to move in and out of it, and also the adjustability of this little nose ridge on the top that's got a piece of metal in it, I noticed no fogging up in my glasses at all, which is great. And also sometimes with other masks and stuff it forces your glasses higher. With this, I found my glasses just sat where they normally do right now, and that was great. Now what I'm going to talk about is kind of a pro and a con at the same time. For me, the mask fits fairly comfortable when it's on there, but when it gets warmer, and I've had a few warm days out here that are not very warm, I find that I do still sweat around with the straps and the main part of the mask a little bit. Now, I know I sweat easily, so that's not necessarily a pro or a con. It's kind of both. It's a personal sort of thing to whether you like that or not. And I also find when it is a little bit warmer that the way the mask really wraps around can feel slightly claustrophobic, especially when it's warm and a little bit humid. That goes along with the whole sweating thing, so really that's just a personal thing. If you don't sweat that much, then this mask's going to be great, and that's just a pro. But if you're on some quite hot climates, uninsulated workshops like I have, it was a little bit uncomfortable, especially wearing it for a long time. For a short period of wearing the mask like I would normally do in a hand tool shop, I don't think it's a problem even in hot conditions. So there you have it, folks. That's my review on the Basecamp M Pro Dust Mask. If you're interested in checking it out a little bit further, or maybe getting one for yourself, I'll leave the link to where you can find it down below. And down there, you'll also find a discount code for 10% off checkout that Basecamp has offered you, my viewers. So if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing down below. While you're down there, please sound off in the comments. I'd very much love you to leave a comment. And if you'd like to support me a little bit further, please consider checking me out on Instagram and Patreon, and even checking out the membership here, which is new here on the channel. It'd be very much appreciated if you'd like to check that out. And if you'd like to see another great video such as this one here today, please check out one of the relevant videos left here on the screen. Bye for now.